Today we're talking about trust home sales, a step-by-step guide for trustees.
If you've been named as the trustee of your loved one's estate, you may be wondering, what do I do to prepare the house for sale? And how do I find a real estate agent to help me through that process? Because you're probably wondering, how do you actually sell a house in a trust? It's a relatively big responsibility, and here is a step-by-step guide that we're going to be talking with you about today, because we want you to have a good understanding of the process. I'm Kim Ward. I am the broker-owner of Horizon Real Estate's Probate and Trust Help.
And I'm Ashley Rivera. I am Kim Ward's business partner, and we've worked together for about 10 years. The first step is going to be confirming your authority. You're going to want to review the trust document carefully and ensure that you have a right to sell the property. And if you are unsure, even after reviewing, we always recommend that you speak with an attorney to verify that you have a right to sell the home. Sometimes it says you must distribute first, and other times it says you can outright sell the home directly. So you're going to want to verify and probably talk to an attorney to make sure that you know which option you're permitted to take.
The second step is to make sure that you secure the property, because most properties in a trust are vacant. You want to protect the property, and first step would be to change the locks. Here in San Diego, we have a locksmith that we recommend, and they charge about $160 to do up to 6 lock changes. You don't necessarily want to stop the utilities, but you want to get the utilities into your name, possibly. That's something for you to decide how you want to handle that. But you definitely want to maintain insurance coverage, whether that is keeping the insurance coverage that your loved one had, or we do recommend you look into vacant home insurance. The bottom line is you want to keep the home safe and in good condition while you get started to prepare the property for sale.
Step 3 is going to be that you notify the beneficiaries. When you're preparing to sell the trust property, you're going to want to make sure that the beneficiaries have been informed. You're going to have to give them information throughout the process and keep them in the loop about what steps you're taking. We always recommend that you try a weekly check-in with all beneficiaries, because the transparency of that oftentimes will prevent conflicts. And if you speak with an attorney about the trust, you're going to want to verify whether or not you need to provide written notice to all of the beneficiaries.
The next thing is to gather a lot of documents. The first thing is obtaining the death certificates. So you're going to want to make sure you have death certificates. Sometimes the mortuaries will provide those for you. If not, you can ask an attorney where you can obtain those. And we recommend that you get 3 to 5 death certificates, because various places are going to want those. The next thing is to obtain a date of death appraisal for tax purposes. Depending on when you sell the property, you want to have that date of death appraisal so that theoretically you can avoid capital gains. You want to collect the mortgage statements, any tax bills, any HOA documentation, and be aware of any existing liens on the property. This will ensure that you know exactly what obligations the trust has.
Okay, once you have all of these things in line, the next step, step 5, is going to be prepare and market the property. To start, you're going to want to hire a real estate agent who has experience with handling sales of properties in a trust. And once you've then hired the right real estate agent for you, you're going to want to go through the process of preparing the property. This could be removing the personal property, so maybe you have an estate sale, or you have a company come in and do a buyout once the beneficiaries have taken their mementos. Or it's possible also that your loved one who passed away had a want for certain items to be donated to certain places. You're going to want to handle repairs or maintenance items that need to be taken care of. And a lot of times you can refer to your real estate agent for this. They can help guide you through that process. And if appropriate, you may want to stage, or sometimes we do soft staging and virtual staging to many of our clients' properties. From there, your hired real estate professional will need to market the property and hopefully present it strongly to the market so that way you get a good amount of buyers coming in.
Next step, step 6, is to review the offers after hopefully a good amount of buyers have come into the property and saw the value in it. Once we receive multiple offers, fingers crossed, the trustee and their agent will review the offers together and determine what kind of a counter offer needs to be made to whatever offers are available. Your decision of what offers to negotiate with, they need to align with the market value of the property and being fair to all the beneficiaries. You may want to keep some type of record of why you made the decision you made, but the reality is when we're helping trustees with homes in a trust, we have a good reason why we went with a certain buyer, their ability to actually go forward on purchasing the property, having the money, having a loan in place, and they were the highest price and best terms buyer ultimately.
So from there, you've negotiated the offer, you've picked a buyer, and now you've completed the sales process. At the close of escrow, the trust will receive the sales proceeds, and it's your responsibility to then distribute those proceeds to the beneficiaries. Prior to distributing the assets to the beneficiary, as the trustee, you're going to want to ensure that all debts and liens have been paid off. Escrow will be taking care of most of that, but you'll always want to verify that anything that you are aware of has been taken care of. We also recommend that you hold on to $5,000 to $10,000 because at some point you will receive a supplemental tax bill for the time between the date of death and the sale of the home. The San Diego tax assessor is going to send a bill, and that bill will be for the difference in what they were paying versus what the value of the property is. So it could be any number depending on how much the taxes were, how long the home was owned by your loved one, and so we always recommend 5 to 10 grand for that particular bill. After that has happened, you can then distribute all remaining funds for the estate.
Like Ashley was just sharing with you, holding back in the estate bank account $5,000 to $10,000 for the ultimate supplemental taxes that are going to come up in most cases is really important. Just hold on to it, and once you get that bill and pay the bill, then you can distribute the remaining funds. Acting as a trustee, it's both a legal duty and a responsibility for you. Success comes from following the trust documents, keeping all the beneficiaries informed minimally every 2 weeks, every 1 week, however you determine, but keep them informed, and leaning on good professionals, a good attorney, a good tax advisor, and good real estate professionals.
If you're a trustee in California, be sure to review your trust carefully. That might be relying on attorneys, or maybe you can do it yourself. But either way, you want to review your trust carefully and connect with professionals who can guide you through the process.
And remember, you don't have to handle this alone. There is help every step of the way. Thank you for watching. We hope you found this of value. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and we do our best to answer all of the questions. See you next week.